morning, everyone. I am Stephanie Van Vart, and I am a small business owner. Welcome to Talking Business. Again, this is a show that was started so that we can have conversations with business owners, especially during this challenging time, to try to see if we can exchange some ideas and brainstorm some ways that we can stay relevant and effective and survive and thrive during these times, this time where businesses are essentially closed, especially non-essential business. My next guest, I'm very excited to talk to her. I'm always excited to talk to everybody, right? But excited to talk to her because her company, CiCi Curls Hair Studio, has been, it's the beauty industry. It is the beauty industry, and just me among my friends, we have been complaining up something about how we can't get our hair done. So we want to talk to this young lady about, how she's staying alive in business and how she might be able to help us help ourselves. So we're going to welcome now Loudney Thompson. Thompson. Sorry about that. All right. Can I call you Lou?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. So,
for having me.
Tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Loudney Thompson. Everybody call me Lou. I'm a professional natural hairstylist. I have my own small salon suite in Miami Beach. I just only do natural hair.
Okay.
When I say natural hair, just curly, kinky, no silk pressing. It's just no perms. It's more so of what you have, and I help you embrace it and help you make it look the best. That's what I do. And I teach you how to do your hair.
Oh, good. We'll be talking about that too. So I was just reading an article from Essence. Actually, I was doing a little research this morning, and there's an article that came out that literally says, it talks about the industry that Black women, it's from the art, I can't speak today. The article is entitled "The Industry That Black Women Built." It's all about the beauty industry. And this is an industry that makes $1.2 trillion a year. I attribute a lot of that, I think, to the natural hair movement, because we really did start to see a shift in that spectrum. How did you decide that this was the not only the industry you want to get into, but specifically with regards to natural hair?
My daughter. I have two small children. I have a son and also a daughter. I didn't like the way she was looking at me, because I didn't start doing natural hair only. I was, the silk press was still natural, but silk pressing and doing things that were on the unnatural state to a Black woman hair. So whenever she would come to the salon, she would be like she would ask me, she wants to do her hair just like that, straight. And I'm telling her, your hair is beautiful, but every time she comes, she see me doing something opposite. So I always tell people, I don't work for myself. I work for my kids. My kids are the reason why I do what I do, because I want them to look at me as their role model.
Yes.
So when my daughter comes to the salon, she only see what's on her. Like, so if I tell her that she's beautiful, this and that, so she's able to see that. She's able to love it, because that's what mommy do. So it's mostly her. It's my kids. I didn't do it for me. It was more of just trying to help her understand that her hair is beautiful. But then I also understand, like, a lot of people don't know how to take care of their hair.
Right.
It's something new. So I also incorporate, okay, if I can do natural hair and also teach the person how to do their hair to make it look good, even in its own natural state, that would be a big plus too. So it mainly started with my kids. Like, that's where I started from. Like, what gave me the reason to push to go into natural hair was my daughter. Basically, my kids, both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you decided to make that transition or that pivot, did you find it difficult? Did you lose customers? How were you able to, regain that clientele?
I did and I didn't. It was just more so like a lot of girls who was doing their hair silk press, they told me like they didn't want to silk press their hair because they couldn't find the right stylist to take care of their natural hair. So I didn't felt like how if a person say they do natural hair, it's more of trying to do your hair going straight.
Right.
So majority of my clients were more like happy, but then some of the girls who I did their relaxer for, they was like, okay, so are you gonna do this on like every Tuesday? Are you gonna still do relaxer? I'm like, no, I
No,
don't
I'm
care. No, it's okay. Like it's okay. No, but I can give you to another stylist who does it, who I know that she will take care of hair. But it was like, man,
That's a very brave move to
yeah,
make a conscious decision that I'm not going to move this product anymore, but it's still going to be okay. And,
yeah.
right now, people are having to make some of those decisions anyway. So you really kind of made that way before any of these challenges came along. It was just a conscious decision and it's worked out very well for you. Did you have to go and recertify to make sure you were equipped to make that transition? And what were some of the things you did to really bring some of that business back when you decided to make that transition?
What I did was, well, I like cutting hair. It's the same thing. It's more
Okay.
of the kinky hair. You just have to not use so much grit. But it wasn't a big transition for me to. It was more of letting the naturalistas trust me enough
Okay.
to do their hair, because they're
Okay.
like, okay, yeah, it was more of that, like I got you. So
Okay.
I had to basically just for them, just to go on some classes that I noticed a lot of naturalistas would start paying attention to certain people who do natural hair. So I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to this class so they can understand that I
You know
basically
what you're
understand their
doing.
hair. But
Hmm.
I always tell people, I'm like, this is my hair. So if I can't handle my hair, that means I can't handle your hair. Or if I can't handle my child hair who has kinky hair, I can't handle your hair. So I learned everything and did everything on my kids' hair to see, okay, what works. Because
Okay.
my child hair was not so, it was kinky.
Right.
And I only knew how to manage it if it's in this like a straight state, like I
Right.
can blow dry it.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I don't want to do all that. So I'm going to see how can I make this more like tameable for me to where I don't have to pull your hair, I don't have to do anything like that. But I went to classes. I got a few papers. It wasn't no much. It was like either a few, about
Okay.
3. It was
Okay.
because I didn't feel like I learned anything, but it was just too more just to have a
To
like, okay,
validate.
yeah, yeah.
To
Hey
validate
guys,
you need to
like a
do.
little paper, like, hey guys, okay, I went to this class, I learned because I felt like it was already in me. I could have feel things that I was doing wrong or I was doing right. It just made
Okay.
sense, like you
Okay.
can feel what you're doing, but it wasn't so much. It wasn't a big transition to me for me.
Well, now it's very interesting because, we're in this pandemic and unfortunately you have not been able to work. Um, has there been some conversations in your industry about the shift that needs to happen among other working professionals and colleagues that to be able to catch up once we're back into the spectrum or some pivot plans, and have you personally thought of some plans to really amp up and be ready or be able to continue should you stay under the stay-at-home order?
Yeah, I have a few clients, well, colleagues that's like, oh, are you gonna open back up on the 24th, this and
Mhm.
that. Like, I have a few, but I personally feel like as a hairstylist, you're supposed to Ben save your money because we see money. It's not like we don't. So
Right,
during that whole last year, you're supposed to save. You're supposed to either invest to where if it's a big recession, it shouldn't be like a hard hit. But I have a few that's asking me, okay, are you going to start working? I'm like, yeah, but when things are right, I'm not going to
right,
basically be hungry because I was prepared for
right.
whatever to come. And it was just more of seeing how things work for me, but still planning. Like I always
Right.
tell people, I don't, it shouldn't be a big deal. But for me, what I've done is just made my online, well, made my course of what I do more of an online thing because I just taught people how to do hair. So I'm like, okay, I could just do that like an online thing, just,
Okay.
helping you. But for me, it's not hard. I guess
Okay.
you just have to
Okay.
know what to do. Like you can't look at the darkness as if it's something hard. Like, it's supposed to be something easy for you to transition to basically move on to the next stage. I
Because it's
I
funny
was
you
prepared.
mentioned.
I was prepared. That's all I can tell people. It's like I was prepared for whatever to come because I'm always saving. I'm always investing. I'm always trying to make sure that I was always prepared.
Right.
So
But
yeah.
it's funny you mentioned recession because I mentioned to you yesterday, I've been in several workshops, a small business owner, you're always in workshops. And there was only one I can remember where there was a real conversation about making yourself recession proof. And the woman asked the question, what are some of the businesses or industries that are recession proof that will maintain through a recession? And among government and education, beauty came up. And
Yeah.
it is. Everybody can always scrape up enough money to do something to make themselves look better. Man and woman, we won't make that just about women. So you talk about, during the recession, so it feels like there's some conversation. There was a bit of a camera shift. It's okay.
Yeah, right.
So it seems like there's been some conversation as you have come along in this industry about how to be prepared and have an emergency plan during a recession. Now, this is different, but at least it feels like there's been some talk in your industry about the importance of that. Is that true, or is that just you, the way you think?
That's how I was brought up, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To always be prepared for whatever to come. Always be prepared. Yeah. But I personally feel like even as a hairstylist being in the game, we were never taught that. It's something that you have to end up doing, like going out there and research yourself, because you see money fast and you can also spend money very, very fast.
Right.
So it's more of trying to have control. Like, okay, I know I got this $1,000 that I can spend in this fast, but then I know I could make it back within a day or two. So it's that control, like it shouldn't have hit us so hard, because even when everything falls off, we're supposed to bounce back like it's nothing, basically. If you were prepared enough, you're supposed to, like, all right, it was just like a break for us, like, because we all deserve, well, half of the salon owners kind of deserve this break because we work so hard.
You do. I mean, I've told my friends when they raise a stay-at-home order, you will be on your feet for 48 hours straight. I believe it because we need it.
So it's like,
I believe it. So do you own a shop, own it, or I believe your publicist mentioned it was something like a co-working space, maybe experience?
Yes, it's inside of a beauty suite. It's like a small, well, not so small, but for me, it's for me. It's a nice studio space, like a nice long stretched out space for myself. But there's multiple salon owners that's in the building.
And so you're a sole proprietor. You don't have employees.
Yes.
So were you able to apply for some of the loans and the grants and the resources that have been out there?
Yes, my parents forced me to. I was like, well, he's like, you better do this. This is money. I'm like, but you know I'm gonna have to pay this back, right? I was like, this is just
we worry about that later. Get the money first. We'll worry about that later.
Yeah, right. They just told me to do it. I'm like, I'm trying to get out of debt. So if I get this, how long do I have? It's like, okay. I'll just take it.
It's funny, they were just talking about on MSNBC, several businesses who have prided themselves on trying to stay out of debt and stay on top of it. Now they're freaking out because they don't want to be in debt, but they really need money.
Exactly.
So very tricky situation.
But I've applied for it and then just waiting for it to be approved. But I was like, okay, if it's something, it's better than nothing. But I'm like, I hope it's less than what
Right. I don't want to have to pay back a whole lot of nothing to nobody.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm trying to
but
get out of that.
I've been impressed also with companies like Shea Moisture, Spanx, who are stepping up and also offering grant opportunities to small businesses. Have you looked into some of those opportunities as well? And kind of what is your thought or feeling about the ability for these businesses to really step up and represent, particularly women and women of color.
Yeah, I'm happy that they're doing that, but I feel like they need to, because as women, you know, you try to please women because they're your
Mhm.
main um buyers in a way. So
Right.
no, I haven't, like, that's the thing. I haven't applied for much, only for the small business loan, and that was it. Because I'm like, Mom, it's a loan. I don't know if nobody know what loan means, but it means you have to pay this back. Like, I don't want it, but then it's a like,
Look into it. Supposedly, there's a way it can turn into a grant. I don't fully understand that, so I don't want to be the first to say, but I will say look into it. That's what I've been told.
exactly.
So
That'll be yeah. Like,
do the
I'll
research.
look
Do
into
the
it. That'll be
research.
on point. I'll see if it's a grant, but then it's like, okay, I'm not trying to put myself too much out there. It's like
No, I get it.
you know,
I get it.
like
I
I
do
would say I'm
get it.
okay, but I feel like from what I put away from my little rainy day was like, all right, see, Laurie, you was prepared. I told
You're
you.
okay. You'll be
That's
fine. You'll be okay. Now, I'm interested because I want to get a little gossip going. I'm interested in what you think about in Georgia. Of course, they're talking about lifting the stay at home and opening salons and barbershops. Again, I was doing some reading last night. There are several business owners. It's sort of this tug of war. There are some business owners that are saying, I'm not doing it. It's not safe. There are others who are preparing. But we haven't executed that in Miami-Dade County yet, have we, in terms of a stay at home? What's your feelings about that? How do you?
I it's scary. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, oh Lord, do they really want to do this? Do they really? But
Right.
it was because that's the only part where I would say, like, I wasn't like, it's going to take me a while to really figure out if it's about, okay, do I really want to go back to work, or am I okay and then wait? That's the part I was like, am I really prepared to have somebody, because you're so close to them.
Right.
You're so
Absolutely.
close. Even if you put the mask, like, nah, man. I'd rather just us just separating, where I can help you on, like the whole
Mhm.
FaceTime thing. I can help you do your hair until things are safe. And I think majority of my clients are lucky because I'm a teacher. I teach them how to do their hair, so it's not like everybody's like, oh my God, look, we got to do my hair. No, no, no. I taught you. It's okay. We could wait until everything falls, until everything is clear. But if people want to do it, just be safe. That's the only thing I can say. But for me,
I don't know how. Like, because you don't know who might have
exactly.
that.
But
Okay.
I personally, for me, I'm like, I'd rather not do it until things
Mhm.
are good. That's all. It's okay.
Now, you talk about how you teach your clients how to do their hair online. Have you figured out a way, and this is a legitimate question for me because I haven't figured this out myself, how to monetize that? Or right now, it's really just connecting with your customers.
Exactly. That's where my brother, who's a business partner with me, I'm like, okay, how can I make this a thing? Okay.
Make
Help you with that.
some money because we
Yeah.
might be
Like,
here for a minute.
exactly. I'm like, okay, do I need to do personal videos and then have like this, or where they can do this? Like, how can I do this a thing? Because I'm like, it's gonna be a while until we're actually able to go
In a
and have
really
that.
safe way.
Yes.
Mhm. In a
So
really safe way. It's going to be, unstable for a while. And for me, and I'm sure for most of the women that I know, we can only hold this up for a little while longer.
yeah.
We need some help.
But I feel like the help it should have been taught, because the hair is something where it's a part of you where you're supposed to be taught how to do your own hair instead of being dependent on somebody. The
Right.
only, the only thing I feel like as a hairstylist that we're supposed to be dependent on is the hair color. And I know you had talked about another stylist did the whole hair color packet. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
a good idea.
That was a
It's
good idea,
beautiful.
right?
Yeah, like, it's okay.
It was a good
Good
idea.
idea.
You
Um,
and you like teach people through it.
Exactly. I was
That was
like,
a good
okay,
idea.
that makes sense.
You know.
And but the regular stuff of how to wash and style your hair, it's something that's supposed to be upon, like, you were supposed to be taught, or
Mhm.
your home is supposed to help you with.
Right.
It's something like it, but
And the
that
idea we're talking about, everybody, is a friend of mine who has needs color. had a hairstylist that put together a little beauty kit for her that included her color, her own special color, I think of brushes, a couple of gloves, and some instructions, and sold that to her. And I was like, ooh, that's a brilliant idea, man.
Yeah.
You can make a little money off that. You can make a little money off
Exactly.
that. So
Be okay. I think we're going to be okay. As a
I agree.
hairstylist, it's
I
good. It's
agree.
going to be okay.
I agree. And like to that point, I have said, I feel like even though this is a different kind of thing, and I've always known that, beauty was recession proof, I feel like the beauty industry, and in particular hair salons and natural hair salons, will be fine once the fear subsides.
Exactly.
What is your feeling or ideas around that as well? And when you think that fear might really subside and we can kind of get back into the regular swing of things, have you had some thoughts around that?
Oh, man.
You thinking about it now, huh? And so, what's the plan? What's the plan? That's my next question. You're a mother. How are you planning on your transition back? Are you even thinking about that at this point?
I am, but it's more like I'm planning on. Okay, I I I just took it as if where everything's gonna have to be online because you don't know. It's crazy. You just want to be
Mhm.
safe. And I'm happy I do natural hair because I'm like, yo, it's easy to be like teaching somebody how to do natural
Correct.
hair instead of doing weave and
Correct.
yeah.
Then a little bit different from trying to put a relaxer in your
Yeah,
hair. It's a
that's why I'm
different
like,
product. That's a different thing. So you're basically at this point, your transition plan right now is just to figure out what you can do here and when they
exactly
say
like when to like really start off or just to make this a thing because a lot of people are doing well doing the online courses or
absolutely,
exactly. So I'm like,
absolutely,
it's gonna be
absolutely.
okay. I
And
don't have
you
to.
and I talked a little bit right before this about how Pinterest and Instagram has been so pivotal in your industry. Um, if you could talk a little bit about, I was telling you also, your publicist reached out to me and shared your photo with me, and I told her, I was like, it was so funny because I'd seen your photo in Pinterest. I actually pinned it because I was thinking about cutting my hair. And it was like, wow, that's funny. So, those streams alone, I think, have been very instrumental in the growth of many beauty industries, hair salons, things of that nature. How have you personally seen the growth of your business using those platforms as methods of marketing?
Oh man, extremely good. I feel like if
Mhm.
you really put your time on it, you can make a lot of money. Like I did this one test when I first opened where I was just like doing hair and then I didn't really take my time on social media. And it was like a month when I opened and I was trying to figure I'm like, what's going on? How come I'm not getting no clients? Because I was not being involved in my social media.
Mhm.
As soon as I started posting and I started interacting with my clients, within that month and two is I was already booked for 2 months
Really?
in advance. It's just like I feel like people are not taking advantage of social media because everybody's on social media. It's either on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Once you're interacting with the client, I guess the client will feel like, okay, you care or
Mhm.
she's still present. And people who are not your client will see, oh, okay, she do this, she does this, she does this. It's best to be interacting when it comes to your social media, and it works. That's one thing. It works well. Like
How often do people come in with something you posted saying, I want this, exactly this?
oh, a lot. But then I from that picture, as soon as I see that phone going up, your hair is not like that. So I already just shut it down. I'm like, I look as soon as they're like, what? I'm like, your hair is not like that. I can't. I'm sorry. We ain't gonna
Those
do that. So you can put the phone. You can put the phone down. Put the phone down. I'm gonna work with what you have right now. Yeah.
those are the best stylists, I gotta say. You're not joking. They're like, you can't do that.
You can't do that. Like
But
I'm
this
like,
is
no,
what
no,
you
no.
can do, and you will still look good, I promise.
Mhm. All the time. I want my curls. How you have her curls like that? You see how her curls are big? That's her curls. You can see the
Girl,
curls look even
that's
better. Yeah, that's
no
even
pattern.
better.
You
That,
can't do that.
and that's one thing I guess a lot of people think just by being a natural hairstylist is they think I use rods or like
Mhm.
rollers to create curls, but I'm like I don't do that, and I don't want to do that because I know that that's just going to make your hair even more unruly when you're forcing it to do something unnatural. So I don't do any palm rods. I don't create the curls. I just work with what you have already and just enhance it
Okay.
to make it even better. So that's the only thing. Like, oh, are you gonna use some rods? I'm like, no, I'm gonna work with what you have, and I'm gonna make
I
it
agree. I
better.
think that's a good way to train people because when you go home, you know, I'm pretty good with hair, I think maybe, but I know I can't do what my hairstylist does. So she will always be safe. But, you know, to be able to have that same, to feel like you can look the same way and not so drastically different if you
Exactly.
could train someone to do that. Like I said, I pay for that. I pay
Exactly.
I
Oh my
scribbled some
god.
money from somewhere to teach me how to do that. But I'd be back. Trust me, I'd be back. So, are there any thoughts of any advice, I guess, you could share with other people in the beauty industry? I did want to ask a private question too. Have you thought, as you're looking at the pivot plan right now and thinking about different ways you want to really advance or enhance your business, have you thought about getting into hair products or creating your own hair products? Is that sort of the natural transition or no?
Nah, there's so many stuff out there. I'm the type of stylist that have fun critiquing other other
People's
stylists and just have like and just have fun with other products. I'm like, okay, I can see this product being like a everyday thing or not like. Yeah, I like critiquing other products instead of trying to make my own. It's fun that way. It's like, oh, okay, you want me to try it? I'll try it. No
I'll try. Let's
problem.
see what
Yeah,
happens. Let's see this.
so
But I mean, to that point, though, you're right. I just out of it, it was really overnight. It was refreshing to see, but a little overwhelming. Just products everywhere for
everywhere.
natural hair, and I am the guilty person. I was buying a crazy amount of stuff. And finally, I got smart and said, what I'm going to start to do is ask my friends if they would, let me borrow some of their stuff and let's see how it works. How do you recommend somebody, finding that right product without having to spend $1 million to do so?
See,
What are some of the things we should be looking at in terms of the descriptions on the back?
well, the way I approach products is the same way where I approach anything. If it's like by pricing, um, so if something costs $4.99,
Mhm.
you can't expect something that costs $4.99 to hold on to moisture for the whole week.
Mm. Gotcha.
So I don't like when it comes to people who I don't know who wants my product recommendation, like, oh, but it's not working. And I ask them what products do they use, and they're like, okay, I use Cantu and I use Shea Moisture. I'm like, okay, so how long do you wait until you actually wash your hair? About 2 weeks later. So I'm like, you use a 4 or 5.99 product, and then you wait until like 2 weeks to wash your hair, and then you
It's
come back.
not gonna hold.
It don't exactly. I'm like, you actually think this is going to hold on to moisture on your hair for this whole 2 weeks? Nah, boo.
Good
Like
point.
those products I look at are like a 1 to 2 day product. If you really pay attention to your hair, you will notice those products. You can use them today, and after 2 days, you feel your hair is hard. Then that just means that it's a 1 to 2 day product. It's not a product that's going to last you moisture for the whole week. And
Mhm.
I try to educate my clients on that too. Like, don't try to hold on to a product to give you moisture because moisture is only one thing, it's water. So
Mhm.
if you want your hair to be moisturized, you have to give it what it needs, water. So not by putting products on your hair or like overdoing it on with products. It's more of just understanding what the products are for and understand like you can't use something that's like $4 or $5 or $10 and then not doing nothing to your hair for 2 weeks or a whole week.
Mhm.
It's not
Mhm.
going to. It would never balance that way. So
Okay.
it's it's about just letting my clients understand that you can use anything you want on your hair, but don't expect
The
something that is cheap.
result.
Exactly the
Mhm.
result. You can use
Mhm.
anything Anything could work. It's just like makeup. I look at products as makeup because you could buy a lipstick from Walgreens and then still have the same effect from you buying it from the Mac store. It's just
Mhm.
that's it. It's knowing like you have to remove it that day or you have to remove it 2 days.
Mhm.
You know, you just can't expect moisture or something to work for you and you're not doing nothing to your hair. Because
Right.
anything can work. Anything can work on the hair. You just have to know how to approach it.
And how and the length of time that it will do what you
Exactly.
want it to do.
Exactly. Because it's like, oh, that's why when somebody asks me product recommendation, I'm like, okay, what product you use? Cantu. I'm like, okay, then get you a product that's cost you $24 because that is only going to make your hair hard and hard and hard and
It's like
or yeah,
yeah.
do it hard. Or if you want to use Cantu because that's what you can afford, then use that Cantu every day. But once you use every day, make sure you're using it on a clean hair. Like, and they be like,
Mhm.
really? I'm like, yeah, that's the only way it's gonna work for you every time because you're using it on a
Mhm.
fresh hair. But
Okay.
not by shampooing your hair every time. It's about just rinsing out the product out your hair and then disapplying
Right.
the product over
Right.
again. So it's more of understanding, okay, how to approach your hair because you can use anything. It's just about understanding, like, it can't be a product that costs this amount of money to leave on your hair for 2 weeks or a week. It will never work that way.
So that's another training you could give us too.
Yeah.
I made myself a wealth of
Yeah.
money had I listened to that advice.
Right.
A
It's more
long time ago. A long
understanding.
time
It's more of this understanding, like how to use a product, when to remove it, what to do as soon as you remove it. It's more of having a better understanding because no product is a hard product to use. That's one thing I find out. I can use anything in all my clients' hair, but I
ago.
will let them know, okay, this has to be rinsed out in 2 days. They're like, wow,
Okay.
make your hair dry. That's all. So
Okay.
make your hair dry. Yeah.
So, do you have any advice for people in your industry that right now are trying to figure it out? You happen to be fortunate enough to be able to be okay, but what are are there some tips or advice as to how someone can maybe survive this and then come out of it, much better than they went into this situation in the hair industry?
The tip would be just to be patient and take as much education as you can online, like because there's a lot of
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Be patient and interact with your clients more. Don't think anything that you have an idea in your mind. Just say something. Like if you go on your social media, just show people that you are trying to help them. Because if you
Hmm.
just stop and ain't say nothing to your clients, it just means that you are just there for the money. So
Right.
once your clients see that, oh damn, she's really helping us about this product because she understand that we don't have anywhere to go. Like do hair tutorials on your hair and post it. That's the only
Hmm.
way I feel like a lot of clients will respect you more. And then as soon as things are over, you will notice where your books will be full. Like just be
Hmm.
more direct because they understand, okay, she didn't go missing for about all this time. She was
Right.
there with us.
Right.
So that's all I can tell somebody. Just be patient, be consistent, be involved, and you're gonna be just fine. As soon as things are over, boy, you're gonna be just fine. You're gonna end up saying, okay, I'm gonna start taking appointments in May or June, and then just by you kind of promoting yourself, you will see that your books is going to get full. So it's
Right.
just more
Right.
about being involved more. That's all. It's just this vibe. It's gonna this whole thing will kind of pass. Just this vibe.
But I do believe it will be okay. So I
Yeah.
have one final question, and I just want to show Yvette, it's on my book. I promise I'm going to ask this time because I forgot to ask yesterday. Where can we find you?
You can find me
The
on
most important
Facebook.
question.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook or on IG on that underscore Lulu, or you can follow the salon page, CiCi Love Curls Hair Studio. And people are like, how come you put the hair studio? I'm like, because CiCi Love Curls is a first and a middle and a last name. It's a name. Okay? It's a name. It's not like I'm saying that CiCi Love Curls, but it's just no. It's a first and the middle and the last name.
See, I didn't know that. You learn something new
Yes, yes.
every day.
Yeah, because those are my kids' names, Sienna and
Oh,
Lavelle. So I just put it in together because I call them by their nickname. I was like, okay, CiCi Love Curls. There you go. CiCi.
oh,
Yeah,
that's cute.
Yeah.
Very cute. Very cute.
Thank you.
So okay. So once again, I just want to make sure you say it again where we can find you.
On Facebook and Instagram at that_Lulu.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Look, I actually did check your Instagram page, so I'm already looking for some hairstyles. So stay tuned.
Definitely. But your hair shape looks so perfect. I was like, oh my God, that's a
Thank
perfect
you.
shape for you. You look perfect.
Thank you. I look. Let's see if we keep this. Let's see if we keep this. You know, we're talking about cutting hair right before this.
Look.
So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope we'll have you back again for sure. And after all this is over, I will make a point of coming over to say hello.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me, Stephanie. You're amazing.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
So, everyone, that is our show for today. We will not, as you know, have a show tomorrow, but come back and join us next week. We're going to be talking to Melanie Shenhuster from Team Shen Enterprises. We're going to talk to Chevis Davis, who is the owner of Paint with Faith. And then we are also going to talk to Anna Klamali. I hope I said that properly, who is the executive director of the Miami Music Project. So they are going to share some information about what they're doing during this transition time, and we really look forward to it. I want to thank all of my guests for this week. They have been amazing, and I think we've learned a wealth of information. I know I have. So thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you next week, and we'll definitely make sure we post this video so you can go back and check it out again. Everyone have a great day.